search for one specific blog post or a user by ID, wouldn't it be nice to ask your GraphQL API, hey, give me just one post and get exactly that? That's what we are covering today in this chapter, which is about query variables and fetching single items. So, welcome to this chapter of this crash course. Today we will learn how to write GraphQL queries that accept variables. Also, how to fetch just one post or a user or a comment using an ID. And also, why the variables are so powerful and clean. Now, let's say that you want to get one post by its ID. So now instead of hard coding it this way, let me paste it right here. We will hard coding the ID number 1. We can make this query reusable and clean by using variables, just same as you do for functions with arguments. Let's first make sure that our schema supports this in our schema.txt. So let's go and open up this. And we go down to our query type, and then we'll start defining new types. Let's say, for example, the first one. It will be post, and I want to get this post by ID. So we open the parentheses like a function. We say, okay, the argument name is ID, and the type of it is type of ID, and it is a mandatory field. And it will give us back a post. Simple as that. Now, same thing we can do for users as well. So I want a single user that I can get with ID, and that ID will be type ID, it is mandatory, and in return it will give me a single user, so user. And same thing let's do for the comments section as well. So we'll come back right here, we add comment, and that's also I want to get it with ID, which will be of type ID, which is also mandatory, and it will give me back a comment. This now means that we can support 3 more queries: post by ID, user by ID, and the comment by ID as well. And if you remember, when you create a new query, we need a matching resolver. So let's go back here and let's go back to our resolvers and let's add this new resolvers. So first one is the post, right? And that will be again a function. Like if you remember, we said resolvers are just functions. And we have basically access to 3 arguments. The first one, it is the parent, which gives us access to the parent query, which we don't need at the moment, or keep it underscore. The next thing is the argument, which we need at the moment. So I'll keep that. And I'll say, okay, this function, what will do, it will actually map through my post that I get from my data and find for me that single post that have a matching ID. So post, and give me back the post with ID equal to args.id, which we pass as argument. Okay, now we'll do same thing for the users and also for the comments. So I'll just copy this, paste it right here, and I'll say I want a single user where it goes to my users in my DB, find that single user that its ID is matching my argument ID. I can just go back to my schema and make sure that I'm reading the property correct. Now, next thing I will do for my comments too. So I want a single comment, okay, where it filters my comments from my DB depending on their ID. So comments, and here it will be comments. Okay, great. Now each function looks for the single item that matches the ID sent to it. Now let's open up our Apple server, and before that, let me run my server. So npm start. Yeah, all good. Let's open up our browser. I'll just hard reload. And then let's use actually the fields on the left. So that's like a documentation for us, right? So let's say, for example, you forgot what is your query name or your field name. So I want, for example, to get the post. So I'll click this plus icon and automatically fill from this operation section. So that is our query, and you can name this one anything you want. But this one is actually that query resolver we created earlier. Okay, so that you have to name it the same. Now, what it has done is it knows that this post is expecting a parameter, okay, for this ID. So what it does, default, it also tell, okay, our query that will query whatever other queries inside, it is also expecting a parameter. So it passed that one here for us, and that's type of ID. Then the same parameter is passed to our post function or post resolver. This will get us that specific post, right? And also you see down here, you have variable section, and that post ID, that same name is there, where we will be passing actually the ID of the post we want to retrieve. Now, first thing, let's say I want to get the title of my post, and let's say I want to get also the content of my post. And let's see here, I want to post with ID number 2. Hit enter, and there we go. We got that specific post, and we got the title and the content, which is really awesome. Now let's, for example, I want to get the comment. So I'll come here, I want to go back to my queries, and I want a comment, okay? And you can see again, as I click plus, I'm getting the ID here, which is parameter, which is expecting this ID, which is passed as also parameter of my whole query function itself. And you can see down here, it's added to my variables section too. Now, if I go back to my DB, and I'll see, for example, let's say comment number with ID number 2. So I'll come here first, I'll say I want, for example, the message, okay? And I'll come here, I want to say I want to comment with ID number 1. Let's hit post, and there we go. We got our first comment. If we go check our code, that is the one which is great post.